Yo, what's going on, Dragon Ballers? Welcome back to another deck profile. I've been getting a ton of requests asking for my Vegeta Baby deck list. So finally, guys, I am comfortable enough with it that I'm going to bring it to you guys here today on the channel. Before we get into the deck profile, guys, if you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button. If you guys like the content, if you guys like the video, maybe drop a like at the end of the video. That'd be greatly appreciated. With that being said, guys, we're going to get right into the deck profile. So there's a few reasons why I like this deck a lot. Red is really powerful right now. It got a whole lot better once Super Shenron went away. You kind of just couldn't deal with your turn getting skipped with red because you didn't have like a lot of untapping. You didn't have any crazy defense. But in the current format we're in, red, and especially Vegeta Baby, because of one card in particular, and a few cards actually, is really well positioned because you have one of the most hard countering techniques to kind of beat one of the most oppressive decks in the format, which is that Broly Hidden Mastery or any Hidden Mastery Victory Strike deck. So I think this deck is really well positioned for that reason. I also think it does fare decently well against a deck like Janemba. And I do have my sideboard up here. I usually don't include the entire sideboard, but this is something I'm really comfortable with and really think it's really good. So I want to talk to you guys through the sideboard as well. So we're gonna get through the deck. Another reason I like the deck is because I feel like it helps you play from behind a lot too. I really feel like a lot of times, like, you know, you don't always have more cards in your hand than your opponent, especially if you play against something like Skillless and certain matchups like that. But I do feel like this deck is really good at playing from behind. However, I will say though, when you brick in this deck, you brick pretty hard. Like some matchups, you just need the baby chain. You need to go into the baby chain and you just don't see it. Some matchups, you need that chain attack aggro. You need to go chain attack and a burst attack by turn 2, turn 3, and you just don't see it. Those are the unfortunate games. But when you do hit your chain, this deck feels incredibly powerful. And like I said, it helps you play back from behind. So real quick, what the leader does, when you attack a leader, draw a card on the unawakened side, activate main once per turn, take a life to your hand, and choose one of your opponent's battle cards. It loses 5,000 power, so that inherently deals with something like Skillless very well. It's also really good for just removing any of your opponent's weenies just for free, basically, by self-awakening. Awaken, untap 2, attack, draw a card, and once per turn, choose one of your guys by 15,000, decrease it, and then decrease 2 of your opponent's battle cards by 10,000. This is really good for widespread removal. It's also really good if you need to just attack into battle cards, because there's going to be some turns where you don't want to necessarily attack your opponent's leader. You want to kind of stall them out. If you guys saw the video yesterday from like the set 2 logic. But yeah, sometimes you want to just decrease battle cards and swing into them, get board control, and then your opponent, you know, isn't going to have too many options on their following turn, especially if you have access to a lot of your defensive cards. So that's kind of the case with that. So with that, we'll get into the main deck. We got 3 After Image split with 2 Is That All You Got, and then 3 Revenge Death Ball. So my old Vegeta Baby list as well, if you guys look back on the channel from probably a few months ago, I was just playing 4 After Image and 4 Revenge Death Ball, but then Is That All You Got came out. So I wanted to incorporate that into the main deck because there are a lot of matchups where it's really good in. It's really good in Skillless, helping you manage their wide boards. It's really good against Veggies. And sometimes having the Hard Negate is really good as well. You could also just play Unending Awakening, but I don't think the Senzu Bean Negate is nearly as good as Is That All You Got is right now in the current format. I think Is That All You Got is really good, especially against those 30k and 20k Skillless beat sticks. And like I said, having the Hard Negate is really good right now because sometimes, you know, when those Mira Creator Absorbs are running around, the Hard Negate, sometimes they can actually break through the After Image, the difference in power. So Is That All You Got is really good for that reason. So that's my extra card lineup. I don't want to play any more than 8 extra cards with 3 10k combos in the deck is pretty much max capacity for my comfortability in the main deck with the uncombable cards or 10k combos. So just keep that in mind. Then we have your 4 Trunks and your 4 Chain Attack, your standard Chain Attack aggro. A lot of people take Vegeta Baby and do a lot of different things with it. They either just go full on Baby Chain where they play cards to search Machine Mutants. They go full on Chain Attack aggro with like Chain Zeno in the main deck, or they go like Triple Flash. I really like the Chain Attack aggro split with the Great Ape combo because it does give your deck some diversity. You know, sometimes going wide with Chain Attack is really good in a lot of matchups, especially when you throw in like a Fearless Pan on top of any wide board. And there's some matchups where the baby chain just kind of automatically wins you the game. So I like the split there a lot. Not a huge fan of the Triple Flash engine. I would be more of a fan of the Triple Flash engine if there's like more of like a turn 5 meta, but it's not the case, so not playing it right now. So 2-dimensional Banisher Fu. This is my main deck overall of choice. I really don't think you need Sinus Fu in this deck. I think you just want to be more in control of your opponent in this type of deck with this type of game plan. So I'd rather play the board control. I used to main deck the Mass Saiyans, but like I said, I don't want to be having too many uncombable cards. And I think that Skillless is seeing a lot less play right now. I think you should be more afraid of things like Green Broly, especially in this deck where you kind of already have a pretty decent Skillless matchup in general. You want to be able to answer things like Green Broly, other boss monster decks like the Mirror Match, for example. They're Grade A Baby, so I think that's really important. For Seeing Hit, one of the best red cards in the game. If you can resolve multiples of these against Janembas, as long as you don't see, like, you know, all 4 to 8 of their negates, you should be able to bully them for damage. This is like your main win condition against Janemba, at least without the side deck. Burst Attack Gohan. It's like the best card you can bring out off Chain Attack. Even if you're not going to be drawing off of it all the time, just that 15k crit pressure on turn 2 is really, really big. Basically, there's no reason to play Quick Rush Trunks over this because Burst Attack just has an added effect unless you wanted to evolve over that Quick Rush Trunks. But a lot of times, turn 2, when you go Intensifying into Chain Attack and play the Burst Attack from your hand, you'll be at that 4 card in hand perfectly, especially if you went first. So that Burst Attack aggro there is really, really good. Fearless Pan, I used to play Saiyan Kaba in this spot as just an extra double strike finisher for late game, but Fearless Pan has actually been performing really, really well lately. It's a barrier blocker for certain matchups like Victory Strike, but it's also just really good for putting that end game pressure on, because your leader is red, obviously can gain double strike, and a lot of times when you have like a double strike threat, you want to attack with your leader first anyway to get the extra draw out. But if you can attack with your leader, make it a threatening attack, that's really, really solid as well. Pair that with like Burst Attack, pair that with Chain Attack Trunks, it's really, really powerful. Bulma Super Combo, 1 Body Change Ginyu. This is one tech card that I really, really like in the deck. But this does kind of switch back and forth between Body Change Ginyu and Glory Obsessed King Vegeta, the Champion Pack promo. It kind of just depends what I feel is more prevalent in the format. I already have ways to attack active modes with Chain Attack, so I feel like I put enough pressure on Path already, and also I am able to deal with that with like my Baby Chain and with my Revenge Death Balls, the Height of Mastery. So I don't necessarily feel like Glory Obsessed is the right call all the time. I like having the Baby for the flexibility, just stealing threats and winning games with them. If my opponent is a double or triple striker, it's really, really, really good. Now we have the Baby package. So I've got 4 of the 1-drops, 4 of the 4-drops, 4 of the Power Booster, which I used to only play 3 of, but I upped it to 4 because it is a 0-5k combo. This probably used to be the spot of the second Ginyu, but I wanted to play the extra Power Booster to increase my odds of seeing it, because I've been noticing there's a lot of matchups where the Baby combo actually wins you a ton of those matchups almost on its own, because it puts you in such a high advantageous position. If you can have the Baby sit on the board for several turns, you're going to have a ton of cards in hand, so you're actually going to overpass a lot of these decks that just draw a crap ton of cards. So it's been really, really good in my experience. So putting that up to 4 is fine because it's a 5k combo at the worst case. And the Baby, I only want to play 3 of it because I don't want to clunk on this too much. I feel like I see it plenty. And then the 2 Daily Training Vegeta, this is the number that I found to be really good. I was messing around with this at 0, at 1, at 2, at 3, and I was also messing around with Digging Deep Vegeta. But Digging Deep, you're already self-awakening, and it was turn 3 was a little bit too late. I want to be doing this on turn 2. So if I just have to play Daily Training on 2 to draw a card, if I have a Baby from turn 1, if I can awaken, play a Baby, I can still go up my entire chain on turn 2 if possible. So I really, really liked it. There's a lot of matchups too since I have extra power boosters. I'll go maybe let's say it's turn 3. I'll go 1-drop into 1-drop, absorb into the 4-drop, put a power booster on top of the 4-drop, attack. So for a 25k double strike pressure, play another 1-drop, suck up the power booster, go into another 4-drop, decrease another thing by 20k if they have another thing, and then play another power booster on top, and then maybe go into the Baby if I can awaken that turn. Like, you have crazy aggressive turns, but again, you have to draw 3 1-drops for that, right? So it depends on drawing a pretty specific hand. But main deck, really, really happy with it. I think it's really, really well-rounded. We'll go into the side deck. So we've got 1 After Image and 1 Death Ball. So basically, this is for when Is It All You Got isn't relevant. I take it out, put these guys in. This is more for the go tall strategies. So is it After Image and Revenge Death Ball going in against Height of Mastery, Victory Strike for sure. Definitely need them there. 2- Killy Zone. Red has a lot of powerful effects, like a lot of powerful enter play effects. So you have like your Baby combo, you have your foreseeing hits, your chain attacks. So Killy Zone's always been really important in red, so definitely need 2 of it in the sideboard. Cronoa, really important. I just don't want to get beat out by Shugesh, don't want to get overwhelmed too hard, and if my opponent's playing Shugesh, I want to punish them for it. Mass Sand, this is basically a direct swap for Dimensional Banisher Fu in the skillless matchup, because Mass Sand is way better than that matchup. You also have the ability to just bring it in, just side out a lot of your negates, side out your Revenge Death Balls for the Janemba matchup, and just put in more gas. Like, putting in 4 overwhelms against Janemba is really good because it means you have extra added pressure every single turn. So really like it. Chain Zeno. I do have Zeno in the side deck. I think it's just really good in a lot of matchups. Like, I used to play against a lot of green androids at locals right after Super Shenron got banned. Haven't seen it too much, but it's really, really good from when you're playing from behind if you feel like you ever need it against like decks with a lot of barrier. So it's really, really good. Whenever I'm playing best of 1, just a little side note, I do like to bring in 2 Zeno into the main deck. I'll bump out like It Is All You Got, and I'll bump out maybe like the Ginyu just to put 2 Zeno in the main deck for best of 1 events. I think it's really, really good in a lot of matchups. Just, it's never bad unless you just have 2 of them in your hand and you don't need them. At that point, you can just charge them for random energy. But yeah, they're just there in case you need them. And finally, guys, we got 3 Tien Returning Fire. So I did mention that the Janemba matchup's decent already. I think it's only a little bit favored in Janemba's matchup. I think it's like maybe a 60-40 in case of in favor of Janemba, but I do think the deck can win very hard. The way I play that matchup is I go full chain attack aggro. Like, if I can go for a turn 2 Baby combo, I'll do it because it's a triple strike they're probably going to take on turn 2, especially if they're only on 1 energy. Maybe they're on 2 energy. But normally it's just go wide, chain attack aggro, try and stay at 3 battle cards at all times, and then try and resolve multiple for seeing hits to make them take damage, basically rip their super combos out. But TN makes it a lot easier because it's a lot harder for them to play defense in those early to late turns. So overall, this is the deck you guys have been asking for. Wanted to get it to you guys. Hopefully you guys enjoy this deck profile. Let me know what you guys would change in the comments below. Really excited to get you guys those rogue deck profiles as well. You guys have been voting all throughout yesterday, so I appreciate your guys' participation in that. We'll get that to you guys next week. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. See you guys next time. Yo, Danny, I got it. Shenron hand control, 7 1-star balls.
Yo, that is so garbage.
All right. Hear this out. Mono black Bojack.
That's even more garbage!